Good evening, everyone, and welcome for all of our new Tigers and parents. We are excited to have you learn more tonight about next steps for you becoming our newest TSU Tigers right here at Texas Southern University. I am Brian Armstrong. I am the Assistant Vice President for Student Enrollment, and I am here with several of my esteemed colleagues from various offices on campus who are going to work tonight to share with you information about next steps. We know you're excited to be a new Tiger. We are even more excited to have you join us here in Tigerland. So if you have questions about next steps, you're not certain when and where and who and how, sit back and relax because the experts are here and we are going to spend the next hour guiding you through the steps to enroll here at TSU. So I have a PowerPoint that's queued up. I am going to share my screen. I'll need my colleagues' help to make sure that I'm sharing only one screen at a time, especially because we're recording this session. And then we will go into the information. Parents and students that are just coming in, welcome to the webinar. I want to make sure that everyone is understanding of what the webinar feature does. It doesn't allow us to have a normal Zoom meeting where we can see everybody. That would be distracting if we could see all 170 of you in one frame. So this is a webinar where you're going to be able to hear from us and receive information from us, but you have access to communicate with us. You can use the Q&A button at the bottom of the page. And we've already been asking you to tell us where you're zooming in from. And I see already many of you are eager beavers. You're already asking about dual credits and Title IX and California, all kind of good stuff. So you've got a lot of good questions. We have a lot of information that we want to share with you. And before tonight is over, we will pause and answer any questions you have about attending TSU. So I am going to now share my screen so that we can get this presentation underway. I'm going to rely on my colleagues to make sure that I'm sharing the one slide at a time. Ms. Weatherly, do you see one slide or two slides?
Just one.
Okay, perfect. Then we are officially ready to start our new student information session. Parents and scholars, I want to make sure that you don't mistake this session for orientation. This is not orientation. Much of the information that we intend to share with you will give you information to get you ready for orientation, but this does not count as an orientation session. This is an information session to get you ready for new student orientation. And with that being said, I'm excited to tell you more about the institution you've been accepted to attend, Texas Southern University, one of the nation's largest historically Black colleges and universities, serving students from all backgrounds, all across the globe, right here in the heart of Houston, Texas Southern University. We are a public HBCU, which means that we have a very affordable tuition rate, whether you're coming in-state or out-of-state. We try our very best to keep our costs as affordable as possible, but we do have in-state and out-of-state tuition rates. And we have a number of academic programs that we know will put you on the path towards your academic success. And we're going to talk about some of those programs this evening. Some of the things students tell us year after year as to why they choose TSU include these main 5 areas: our amazing academic programs. We have a lot that you can choose to study here at TSU, both at the undergraduate and the graduate level. So you don't have to think about just your first 4 years here. You can plan ahead for your master's degree, as well as possibly a doctorate or a law degree or a doctorate in pharmacy degree. So there's so much you can do here at TSU academically. We've talked a little bit about affordability, but I know Ms. Lemmy is on tonight and she's going to tell you what she and her team have been doing year after year to help TSU be one of the most affordable universities, not just in Texas, but across the nation. We'll talk a little bit tonight about our costs, and then Ms. Weatherly is on to tell you what she and her team do to help our students afford to attend TSU. Being in the middle of Houston is one of the best opportunities for a student who attends TSU. This city has so much to offer, and you're going to need all of those offerings because once you are, ready for your internships, those part-time and full-time jobs, or maybe living off campus and wanting to explore and, become an independent student, Houston's going to provide you with quite a bit of opportunities to help supplement your time on campus and in the classroom. So Houston's a great location to study, and we're excited to be right in the middle of this amazing urban environment. But the two things that sets TSU apart from everyone else would be our student support services and our campus life. You're going to hear from individuals tonight who are dedicated to making sure you have everything you need. We don't just say it, we really do put that passion to work every single day. We meet often, we collaborate quite a bit because we want to make sure we're always relevant as to what our students need. And you're going to hear from that tonight, and you'll get a chance to experience that when you come to orientation and some of our campus events over the next few months. So you're going to get a chance to see our campus life in action, and you're going to see our student support services and all that we do to make TSU the university for you. So talking about these academic programs, we have to remember the reason you're coming here. You may have a great time while you're here at TSU, but you're coming to learn so that you can earn. And you learn in one of these 10 academic schools and colleges. These schools and colleges make up our undergraduate academic degree programs. So when you apply to TSU, you told us your major. Now, we know plans change, majors may change, but it's very important that you remember which major you selected when you applied for admission. Because as you begin the process here at TSU, we're going to, many of the things you'll do will be based on your major or in your college or school. So here are the various undergraduate majors we offer, from our Jesse H. Jones School of Business all the way down to our new College of Transdisciplinary Studies. So be mindful of your major, and if you ever need to change your major, let us know. Let us know in the admissions office. I'm going to leave the last slide that we're going to do tonight will be the admissions email address, but let us know if you've had a change of major that you want us to update, because we don't want you coming to orientation thinking that you're a biology major and we have you down for an art major. We want to make sure that we have the most current information for you in our system. All right, for our new freshmen, welcome to TSU. We hope that your last year in high school is going well and you're getting ready for prom and graduation. And we want to give you a few things to remember as you're finalizing your high school experience. Remember to submit your final high school transcript. Parents, this is for you too. Sometimes with all of the prom and graduation and senior year fun stuff, it's easy to forget that TSU is going to need one more high school transcript. I know you've given us one already. We're greedy here. We want one more, but we only want the one that has your final high school GPA and your graduation date. Ms. Weatherly and her team really can't help you with financial aid if we don't confirm your graduation from high school. So we've already conditionally admitted you because you're in high school, but it's not official until you cross that stage and that graduation date shows up on your transcript. So put a note in your calendar right now for sometime in May or June, once you graduate, to have your high school send us your final high school transcript. We need that, and there's not much we can do, in the summer unless we get that final high school transcript. And some of you students are already taking dual credits in high school. I'm already seeing the Q&A light up behind dual credit. So in that case, we're going to need 2 transcripts from you. We're going to need your final high school transcript and your final college transcript. If you're taking classes at dual credit right now, you can wait until you graduate from that program as well. We don't need to get 2 transcripts from you, but we will need your dual credit transcript as well. That's an important transcript. And it's easy to forget because you think it's going to be on your high school transcript, but it's not. We want your dual credit information from the college or university you receive the dual credits from. So make a note to send us those 2 transcripts if you have dual credits. And if you were admitted based just on your high school GPA, make a note to send us your SAT or ACT scores as well. We may need those for scholarship consideration or to exempt you from the TSI exam. So just because we're test optional doesn't mean we don't want to see that beautiful 25 ACT or maybe that not so beautiful 16 ACT, whatever it is, we want to see it because we may be able to use it for scholarship and for TSI information. So those are the reminders for our first-time freshmen. And then for our new transfer students, welcome to your new home. Remember that we need all official transcripts from all the schools you've previously attended. Ms. Weatherly knows where you've gone. There's no secrets. So just because you don't put it on your application for admission doesn't mean we don't know. We will find out. And that may delay you getting financial aid or getting admitted or registered. So we want all the transcripts from all the schools you've previously attended, no matter what you think that school did or how well you did there. Please request to have those transcripts sent to us. If you're in classes right now, remember to send us another transcript once you complete the spring 25 or the summer 25 semester. We need updated information to make sure we have the most accurate transfer credits in our system. We don't want to cheat you out of anything and everything you've earned. If you've earned it, we want to give you credit for it. We want to make sure we give you credit towards your degree plan at TSU. So we need your help with that to make sure we get all of your official transcripts. Here are the steps to enroll. These are the steps we're going to ask you to do over the next 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks. And if you start doing some of these now, you'll be in real good shape to be our new Tigers in the fall or the summer semester. And so we're going to go through these steps area by area, and then I'll come back to this slide and finalize the steps to enroll. But you can see when summer starts for us, May 27th, that's our summer 1 session. And then fall starts August 18th. So we got a little bit of time before this magic of TSU and you start to work itself. So let's get right into how these next steps are going to work. The most important step to start this process is for you to have access to your MyTSU current student portal. If you don't have access to the portal, much of what my colleagues are going to share with you tonight won't impact you because much of what they need you to do is going to be in the portal or having access to your portal. So no matter what page on our website you're on, you're going to always see that top header line that follows you along. So if you want to learn more about the Ocean of Soul or financial aid and scholarships, or you want to kind of read up on the immunization requirement here in Texas, no matter where you go in our website, you're going to always have that top bar follow you. The one that I've circled, that's the link to the MyTSU current student portal. Now, Tigers, you are no longer prospects and you're no longer applicants. Everyone that we invited tonight has been officially admitted to our university, which means we no longer want you to go to the applicant link and use your T number and your 6th date of birth. You are well past that phase. You are now officially current students. Even though you haven't registered yet, we consider you current students here at TSU. So we are asking that you begin to use the portal on the right side that says current students. That's the portal that you will use your TSU email address and the password that you create. It is not a T number, it's an email address. So all of you should have received an email from the Office of Admissions that gave you your TSU email address and the password configuration. Please, scholars, so many of you want to put in a lowercase q. Parents, you know your students better than anybody. They don't often read, they just start typing. And because this is a sensitive portal, if they type a lowercase q or a question mark instead of the configuration that's right there, it's going to lock them out. And they're going to be cussing and scratching trying to figure out how to get in. And all we're going to do is say, contact the TSU help desk to get in. So please make sure, scholars, that you're following the process. I'm going to actually put a poll out right now in the Q&A section. Scholars, please let us know if you've been able to log into the portal, the current student portal successfully. Give us a yes or a thumbs up. And I'm going to ask my colleagues to go on mute to make sure that we don't overhear any conversation. Mr. Brown in particular, if you can go on mute for me, Mr. Brown. I'll help with that. All right, so students and parents, it's very important that you have access to the portal. Let me peek into the Q&A and see if I'm getting some yeses or some nos. I can't do it. I'm presenting. I'll check later. But I want to make sure I'm getting some thumbs up from my colleagues. So hopefully everyone's able to log into their portal. If you are not able to log into the portal, you must contact the TSU help desk. That's the desk that's available to review your sensitive information and reset your password. You can call them or you can go on their website and they can help you reset your access. So if you need help getting into the portal, please check with our TSU help desk. Remember, you also must use the Microsoft multi-factor authentication app. It's not just that you're logging into a portal. You must be able to get a text message or a phone call that gives you a secure, like a code to put in each time you log into the portal. It's our way of making sure that it's you logging in and no one else. So that's another key feature that you must have access to in order to use the TSU current portal. And then once you log in, that's the page you're going to have access to. And at the top left corner, you're going to see a drop-down menu for student, where you're going to be able to see your degree plan. You're going to see your financial aid information. Once it's there, you're going to be able to have access to the Medicat Connect portal. where you can upload your meningitis vaccination record. And this is where you will also register for classes once you've met the requirements to register for classes. I'm seeing so many students on it, and I'm so excited to see a large number of students and parents on, and we are all excited to have you here at TSU. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Felonice Davis-Marsaw, our Executive Director for the Student Health Center. She is going to tell you about one of the most important requirements for you attending TSU and living on campus. That is the immunization requirement for meningitis vaccination.
Good evening, New Tigers and New Tiger parents. We are so glad that you are with us and that you decided to come to Texas Southern University. Thank you, Dr. Armstrong, for that introduction. My name again is Felonice Davis-Marsaw. I am the Executive Director of Student Health Services, and that is your on-campus clinic. I will tell you more about your on-campus clinic once you attend orientation. So what we wanted to share with you tonight is the information about the immunization requirement. So the immunization requirement for Texas Southern University and all schools, four-year schools in Texas, is that you submit a vaccination record for proof of immunization against bacterial meningitis. It has to be A, C, W, and Y. There's actually two different vaccines for meningitis. One covers strands B, the other covers strands A, C, W, and Y. The state of Texas requires you to send us proof of vaccination against bacterial meningitis for A, C, W, and Y. The B series is recommended, but the required shot we're looking for is bacterial meningitis, A, C, W, and Y. And that is for all students entering the university for the first time. That includes first-time students, and that includes transfer students. If you are 21 years old or younger, so if you will be 22 by the first day of classes, you are exempt from this requirement. If you will be 22 by the first day of class, you are exempt. If you are going to online classes only, you are exempt for the time you are taking online classes only. If you go to school in the fall and you take only online classes, you are exempt. If you come back in the spring and decide you want to go to classes in person, we're going to need that shot record from you. Here's a couple of points to remember about the shot record. It has to be legible. It has to contain your name and your date of birth. And it cannot be older than 5 years old. It has to be legible. We need to have your name, your date of birth, and it cannot be older than 5 years old. If it is older than 5 years, we need you to send us we need you to go get another shot, unfortunately, and send us that new shot record. To send us your record, we need you to submit it to the MyTigerHealth patient portal. And you're going to send it to us at tsu.medicatconnect.com. Once you submit that record to us, we will review it and respond to you. We will respond to your TSU email account. But the email you're going to receive is going to say from no reply at Medicat. And then once you look at the header of that email, it's going to say you received a secured message from TSU Health Services or Counseling Center. That's us, Student Health Services, responding to you about your immunization status. Please check that. If there's something wrong with the record, we will let you know via email what you need to do to correct it so we can accept it. If your record is acceptable, we will let you know via email that that record has been accepted. So please be looking out for that email. It normally takes us about 24 hours after you send us that record to review it and respond to you. But keep in mind, we have up to 3 days to review it. And it just depends on, when you send it and what's going on. If we have a bunch of records, it can take up to 3 days for us to get back to you. So be patient with us. And don't forget to check your email for a response. If you don't see it in your email, Remember to check your spam folder because sometimes it'll go to spam. And then if you have any questions, always feel free to give us a call. We're Student Health Services, and our phone number is 713-313-7173. Thank you for your time and your attention this evening, and back to you, Dr. Armstrong.
Thank you, Ms. Davis Marsaw. From our meeting earlier, I went ahead and added a slide in. I hope I didn't take liberty in doing this without your permission, but I wanted to give a visual of what it might look like. I know this is my personal one for TSU, but it might be similar in how the students are going to see it, but I wanted to give them a visual of what that could look like when they do log in so they can upload their vaccination records and the documents you need. Does that look pretty similar to what they're going to see as well, or is that different than how they are going to see it?
So the email you're going to receive from us is going to look a little bit different, but in that email, it's going to have a link that says click here. When you click on that, it's going to take you exactly to this screen right here.
Perfect.
And see where it says home, immunizations, uploads on the left side of the page. There's one more option on this side of the page that says messages. That's where you all will click to get that secured message from us. Thank you for doing that, Dr. Armstrong.
No problem, Ms. Davis Marsaw. And then last but not least, I know that we're excited to have a partnership with the Harris County Public Health Services to offer free meningitis vaccinations for students who are uninsured with their parents' approval. So many students and parents have already received this information, and they're already beginning to sign up to come to one of these 4 campus dates that we have scheduled coming up: April 2nd, April 17th, April 23rd, and May 7th. So Ms. Davis Marsaw, thanks to you and your partners with the Harris County Public Health team to help us provide this critical and required item for new students planning to attend TSU.
You are welcome. My pleasure.
All right. And now, speaking of another requirement, I see my colleague, Dr. Sherelle Hobson, on, and she has been working really, really hard to help. She works with 2 areas, TSI assessment, and she's also our executive director for our first year experience and our Office of Matriculation and Retention Services. So I'm going to see if Dr. Hobson is on. I saw she's there, but Dr. Hobson and I will work very closely for the next requirement that all students in Texas must submit, which is the TSI assessment, the Texas Success Initiative. All students in Texas, whether they're first-time freshmen or they're transfer students, they must take the TSI assessment, or they must turn in their TSI scores or their college bridge certificates, or they must meet exemption criteria. It's quite a bit of ways you can cover TSI. You can take the test, you can turn in the scores you've already taken, you can be exempt with really high SAT or ACT scores, or if you're transferring to TSU, you may have already taken a college level reading, writing, or math course, or you have TSI scores to turn in from a previous institution. So on the website here, this is for all new students, whether you're in state or out of state. At the very top right corner, you see where it says click to pay. You can actually schedule to take the TSI remotely if you're not here in Texas, or on campus if you are here in the Houston area, or you have plans to travel to Houston. The top right corner is where you can sign up to take the TSI exam, but in the middle of the page, that's where you can already let us know if you've taken the TSI somewhere before, or you can review the exemption criteria. Once you confirm to attend TSU, we're going to double check your your SATs and ACT scores that we have in our system to make sure that you're exempt. But if we don't have your SAT or ACT scores, that's where I said earlier, it's important for you to contact SAT or ACT to turn in those scores. But you can see those requirements at that page right there. And I know that many students in Texas have been taking the Texas College Bridge, which is a waiver of TSI for up to 2 years. So at the top left corner of our TSI webpage, you'll see instructions on how to submit your certificates for the TSI College Bridge waiver. So all that information is available at tsu.edu/TSI. And Dr. Hobson is offering a very special rate for TSI. She's got 4 dates coming up that are the same dates as our vaccination dates, April 2nd, 7th, 23rd, and 7th. You can take both parts of the TSI. There's an English language arts part, there's a math part. You can take each part for $5 each, and you can take care of your TSI requirements on one of these 4 days. And if you can't make it on one of these 4 dates, She has several Saturdays coming up, starting um, April 5th, April 12th, April 19th. We have several dates still available, including this Saturday. I'm sorry, March 22nd is still available as well. So she has 4 dates during the school days that are coming up with the vaccination clinics, and she has 4 Saturdays. $10. You're not going to find that much cheaper than $10 here at TSU. Now, if you take the exam remotely, it is not going to be this special rate. She's going to work with you on a different rate, but it's still a very affordable opportunity for you to take the TSI exam from wherever you are. And then once you've taken your meningitis vaccination and turned it in, and you've submitted your TSI scores, then you are ready for registration. Then starting sometime in May, early June, you will begin to receive updates from our first year experience team under Dr. Hobson's leadership. And that's when you're going to be cleared to register for classes. Her team will go over the degree plans that you have. Your financial aid information will be available to you by that time, and you'll learn about what it means to register. And Dr. Hobson, come on in. If you're in, come on in, and I'm going to
My
introduce you.
apologies. My camera's not working, but my mic is on,
We
and
see your picture. That's how you look
okay.
every
Well,
day. So
hopefully that works. I still look the same. It's
you
a new
look the
position.
same. Yes. So
Okay.
I'm sharing with them information about what you and your team do to help our new students become acclimated to TSU.
Awesome. Well, again, welcome to Texas Southern University. For those who are going to choose to come to one of the best universities here in Texas, where excellence definitely begins. I want to thank you again for taking the time to learn more about TSU. We have I might be a little biased, but I say that your first year experience is your best year. It's going to be your best year experience because we love our freshmen. And so we welcome you with open arms. You have a team of freshman advisors, which we call our enrollment and completion advisors, who are here to guide you and help you matriculate to your sophomore year. So once you decide to commit to TSU, you will be assigned to an advisor who is there to make sure you have all the skills, the tools, and resources to be successful throughout your year. You also have an opportunity to take freshman seminar, which is also going to be instructed by your freshman advisor. So you get that opportunity once more to just check in with your advisor, with what we call our success team, to make sure that you're on track. We also have tutorial services. So for those who are on campus and need some assistance in your math, your English, your sciences, your music, theater, anything that you're looking for, we have some in-person tutors. And if we don't have an in-person tutor for you, we have a 24-hour tutoring service. So if you ever decide that you want to study while you're at home on the weekends, get an early start on your academics on Sundays, there is a tutor available for you, also free to charge to you as being a TSU student. Some assistance that we have for you is we offer textbook resources. So if you're kind of struggling a little bit with purchasing some textbooks, your advisor will help you to get an access code, which then you'll have a free book so that you can be successful in your math or your history course that usually requires an online book.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Hobson. Students and parents, we are preparing to send some information regarding the first year experience, orientation, financial aid out. We're working on updating our new student guide that will be sent out to you probably over the next 2 weeks. So don't think that you're only going to get emails and text messages. We are planning to mail out something to every admitted student over the next few weeks. So hang tight. Something is in the mail very soon to you to give you more information about orientation, the first year experience, and all the services that we intend to provide you as we welcome you to TSU. So I was grateful that Dr. Hobson was able to join to share information from her area and the ECAs who are working really hard to finish out strong for spring 25 and then quickly begin to work with our new students for both summer and fall semester. Next up, we have the lady of the hour, Miss Bridget Weatherly, because she's working. I see her in her office right now, working to make sure that all the financial resources that we can provide our new students and their parents, that we're working on that right now. So, Miss Weatherly, I have a few slides queued up for you to share information with our students and parents about our financial assistance.
Well, thank you, Dr. Armstrong, for that great and gracious welcome. I want to say good evening to all of our future Tigers. My name is Bridget Weatherly, as stated. I am the Director of Student Financial Success, and I am very excited that you guys chose to be on this evening. You could have been anywhere in the world this afternoon, this evening, and you chose to spend this next hour or 2 hours with us, so thank you. That's important. Um, uh, where do we start when it comes to talking about the money? Everybody wants to know about the money. So one of the major items that we request those students that are eligible to apply for financial aid, complete the federal application for financial student aid. Here's the thing. If you don't apply, you don't know if you qualify. So we need every student to complete this FAFSA application. Again, it's free. Don't get caught up on the internet because sometimes there's scams out there. So if someone's asking you for money, you are in the wrong place. Studentaid.gov is the place to be for the free application for federal student aid. We when you're applying for using the FAFSA to apply for financial aid, you're looking to apply for federal grants and federal loans. When you see a grant, it's called free money. You run for it, you run to it. But don't get caught up in just the grants. There's loans and work study as well to help you for the cost of the tuition and fees here at TSU. The application is completely online. We will be having workshops in the future to assist both students and parents to complete this process. For our, we know that it is imperative to get this information out to you as soon as possible. So I'm going to ask you guys to be patient. We have received over 18,000 FAFSA applications. We call those our little ICERs. So we have received over 18,000. So we are now preparing to send out the offer notifications to you all. So hang tight. We're looking to get those out early part of April and allow you all to speak with your counselors as well as myself with any questions or concerns. So upon receiving that offer notification, you will have the opportunity to speak to someone about those items on there that you might have questions. Let's see, what else can I explain? Well, we talked about grants. You don't pay them back. I always tell students, don't be afraid of a loan. Please don't be afraid of a loan. It may be your only resource at the time. And I say at the time because right now you guys are in a great space to where you have millions and millions of dollars, scholarship dollars at your fingertips. And so we strongly encourage you to apply for grants and scholarships, internal and external, and we do offer with that as well. Being a part of one of the most illustrious HBCUs here in Houston, Texas, we get a lot of grant money. We get a lot of scholarship funds. And I'm just going to throw a little plug out there to the United Negro College Fund. They love Texas Southern. Let me just tell you, they love Texas Southern. And so even if you want to get a jump start right now, you can go out there and Google uncf.org. They're giving scholarships away right now. They're awarding scholarships away right now for 25-26. So it's never too early. I tell students and parents, you can't have too much money. And if you do, you're going to be my best friend. Come on and talk to me. Come on and talk to me. So there's two major parts, as you can see. The Pell Grant, that's the federal grant. And then there's the Texas Public Education Grant. The Pell Grant is federal. And then the public education grant is used at our public colleges and universities in Texas only for those of you that reside here. But don't worry about our out of state. We have some funds for you set aside as well. So that's the joy of being here at Texas Southern, is that we have funding that actually all students could qualify for. So in terms of the Texas grant, you have to be a Texas resident, complete the recommended high school program or distinguished achievement program in your high school. You cannot have been convicted of a felony or a crime involving a controlled substance. You need to show a need. And so how that's when that FAFSA comes into play, when we're looking to see if you show a need. And then you're enrolling in a public college or university like Texas Southern within 16 months of graduation. So we have two types of students. We have a dependent student and we have an independent student. And that dependent student are students who receive the majority of their support from their parents, or maybe legal guardian, adoptive parents, things of that sort. So what it looks like is we get a full picture of your financial status and your family's financial status. And a lot of times, from a federal standpoint, students under the age of 24 are considered dependent students. If you're a dependent student, doesn't mean your parents are required to pay anything out of pocket towards your education. But when it comes to federal student aid, we will need some of their information on that FAFSA application. Independent students. These students are typically over the age of are 24 years of age or older. They're married. You could be a graduate or a professional student, maybe even a veteran, a member of the armed forces, an orphan, a ward of the court, or someone with legal dependents other than a spouse. You could also be an emancipated minor as well, or someone who is homeless or at a risk of becoming homeless. And so you might end up in some of those special categories at the end of that definition, but don't fret. Do not worry. If you do fall into one of those categories, just know we're here to walk you through that process. It may require a few more documents than others, but don't worry. It's nothing that you cannot or do not have access to. So we're here to help you. We want you here. We look forward to you being here with us. So just know we're a big, happy family, and we do work together to make sure you have what you need to be able to get started.
Ms. Weatherly, on one of our previous webinars, the topic of Parent Plus loans came up, and I remember taking the PowerPoint down to go to a live website. Well, tonight I actually included a slide from Student Aid, two slides, because I wanted parents to know, because I know many parents are wondering, what can I do now to begin to prepare for my student to attend TSU, especially our out-of-state students. They're going to see in a moment from Ms. Lemmy the cost to attend TSU, and it typically takes a Parent Plus loan or an approved Parent Plus loan, or the parent having the out-of-pocket resources to cover the cost out of state. But I wanted to share with them where to go on the studentaid.gov website to learn more about the Parent Plus loan, and then to alert them that in many cases, students are the ones applying for the graduate loan, or the parents are thinking that their student should be applying, not them. So I just wanted to make sure that I share with them two slides that they will likely need to, review themselves with, so that way they can make sure it doesn't hurt to know if you've been approved or denied for the Parent Plus loan. Ms. Weatherly and her team have resources to help a denied student, but those resources are very limited, especially for an out-of-state student. And as we see here at TSU, it sometimes can be a game changer and a deal breaker, because the resources for a denied Parent Plus loan are not the same as the resources for an approved Parent Plus loan. And we'd love to have every Tiger on this call tonight here, but only if they can afford to attend TSU. And that sometimes does come with an approved Parent Plus loan for our out-of-state and our out-of-state students. So anything you want to share extra regarding the Parent Plus loan process, Ms. Can they do that now? Can they begin the process now?
Absolutely. So we encourage you to go ahead and get this process started now. The application is very simple. And when I say very simple, I would say less than 5 minutes to apply for this Parent Plus loan on the studentaid.gov website. So when you're on there, you go into the grants and loans section as highlighted on the slide. You go into the plus, because that's the Parent Plus loan. And you're going to apply, like I said, about 5 minutes. And this is the parent. Has to be the parent logging in to complete. The student cannot apply for a Parent Plus loan. You can either be denied or approved or denied. Obviously, being approved is the favorable decision. You are allowed to indicate a dollar amount that you would like to apply for. I encourage parents to leave it open, because you just don't know what other aid you might be receiving. So leave it open. I promise that we are only going to allow you to borrow what's needed, and move through the process. The application does require a credit check. And so this application is good for 6 months. So this is a good time to go ahead and get started, because it'll definitely take you through the entering into the fall semester. So you'll know when we begin sending out those offer notifications, you'll be able to see that those funds listed there. Now, if you happen to be denied, the student still qualifies for some additional funding up to $4,000. May not seem like a lot, but it does help. And keep in mind, we're looking to put the most robust package together for you. So this would definitely help if this is already done when we go out to put those packages together. I just love to tell students and parents at this time, here's where you get a chance to say, kind of like a deal breaker. I'll do this for you if you go ahead and commit to telling us, and this is me talking as a parent, that you're going to put your heart and soul into this degree, in this experience here at this HBCU. There's a lot to offer, but there's a lot of things that you can take away from here as well that can take you into the future. So as a parent that had many Parent Plus loans, because I have 3 children, adult children, should I say, it was well worth it, because we made a pact. Honestly, we made a pact that they were going to utilize all of the services here. My credit score got me the student loan, and I love to tell students, your GPA is going to open up the door for the scholarships that we have available. So you put your time and energy into your schoolwork here at TSU, and it'll definitely pay you over and over and over again.
Ms. Weatherly, we've been excited to announce this new Tiger Promise for our in-state students. I know that our out-of-state students and our international students can't benefit from it, but it is a great opportunity for us to have for our in-state students, where we are guaranteeing their tuition and fees are covered based on the results of their financial aid application. So very excited to have all of our in-state students be considered for an opportunity to have tuition and fees covered if the parents make less than $125,000 a year.
And all of you will be considered for the Tiger Promise upon completion of that FAFSA application. Again, we're looking at every student that comes through our portfolio to give them this Tiger Promise. We want to utilize the funding behind TSU to ensure that that part of your education is something you're not worried about. So it starts with the FAFSA application. Obviously, you've already a resident here in Texas. And then it's only for first-time freshmen and new transfer students. And I say that coming in, you will have to continue to complete your FAFSA application. You have to maintain satisfactory academic progress to continue to receive this funding. But this is a game changer. I say, I've never seen anything like this in my career. And I've been in the financial aid department for over 31 years, and I have not seen a promise like this. So I'm excited just to be a part of it and to be able to say, I'm rooting for you all. And it says up to 4 years. So what does that mean? If you come here with your, with your armor on and you're ready to do this, you got 4 years of your tuition and fees paid for. That's unheard of. It's unheard of across the United States, not just here in Texas. It's unheard of. We've got people that are trying to get here just to be a part of this Tiger Promise. And so it includes the winter semesters as well as summer. So I think if you take full advantage, you guys definitely can complete this degree in 4 years, if not sooner.
And then to supplement that, we're even offering scholarships. And so I just want to end real quick with the scholarship information that we have. Many students have already received offers, but I know we are still reviewing students for the upcoming fall semester. We don't offer scholarships for summer school, but we do offer scholarships for the full academic year of fall and spring. So if you're coming for summer students, you wouldn't qualify for one of these scholarships. In fact, if you're coming for summer, you would want to do this year's FAFSA, the 24-25 FAFSA, as well as the 25-26 FAFSA. We did invite summer and fall students and parents to be on tonight. So scholars, if you're coming in for summer, remember the 25-26 FAFSA will start in fall, August. If you are looking to get financial aid for the summer, you will need to complete the 24-25 FAFSA as soon as possible, because those funds are going to be very limited because we're at the end of that academic year. But you do still have a time to turn in both your 24-25 as well as your 25-26 FAFSA. And for the 25-26 FAFSA, these are the scholarship programs that we will be reviewing you for to supplement our in-state students to Tiger Promise, but for our out-of-state students and our international students, some of these scholarships come with waivers where you can pay in-state tuition. So it's the same type of benefit, even though you're out of state or you're international. So keep keep sending in those good grades and transcripts and things so that we can give you our best package offer, as Ms. Weatherly said. And so a reminder to go to our scholarship website to review all the scholarships. We have several. She mentions UNCF. I'm going to throw another one out there, Thurgood Marshall College Fund as well, another one of our big partners. If you go to that website, scholars, you're going to see quite a bit of scholarships, both from the university and our external partners. But please don't end your scholarship search there. You have access to the world right here in your hand. Use your Google and your Yahoo and all those search engines. Go check with your high school counselor and your advocate coordinator. They know lots of folks who are giving away scholarships. So utilize your networking skills. You've got them. So use them to maximize your financial resources. And then last but not least, this is how you can stay connected with the financial aid office. Social media, their phone number, their email address. They work very hard day and evenings to make sure that they connect with students and parents. So Ms. Weatherly, thank you so much for all your good information. And as fast as you give our parents and scholars money, here comes Ms. Lemmy wanting it to take care of them so they can be official Tigers. And so Ms. Lemmy is here from the Office of Student Accounting to share with you what her office provides for services for our new Tigers and their parents.
Good evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for taking that first step. We look forward to seeing you, whether that be in the summer or the fall. Again, my name is Geraldine Lemmy. I work in the Office of Student Accounting. We are located on the first floor of the Bell Building. We're right next to the Financial Aid Department because, as Dr. Armstrong just mentioned, once you're given the money, if you don't have enough, you got to come visit us. So a couple of things that our office does is, of course, we take in-person payments. So if you need to make out-of-pocket payments for your tuition, if you need to purchase parking, if you need to request a transcript, anything like that, we can assist you with that. The installment plans, you'll actually be able to set up online. And I'll go over that a little bit more later. Billing, we send out bills every month. So even if you have financial aid that's covering, you will still receive a bill because once you register for classes, that generates a bill. So that is the university. We want to keep you informed and let you know what your standing is, regardless of whether it's going to be covered or not. We just want to let you know you registered, you have a bill. Any type of third-party payments, our department handles that as well. We have someone specifically in our office that deals with that, and that would be like Texas Workforce, the VA. If you have tuition reimbursement, any type of job or third party that is paying for your tuition, that comes through our office. Scholarships, external scholarships. It's very important that if you are receiving an external scholarship, that they put your information on that scholarship check. We receive checks a lot of times from sponsors that maybe just have a first and a last name, but we might have more than one student with that name. So please make sure that they provide your first, last name, your T number, and any type of requirements that go along with that scholarship, whether it be split, if it's refundable. We need all that information included so that we don't run into any issues when we go to process that scholarship. Also, please make sure that it's sent to student accounting. Make sure they address it to student accounting because a lot of times if they just put the general university address, it could float around for a little while. So we want to make sure it comes directly to our office. We have several students that are looking all around campus for their checks. So just make sure that it has attention student accounting so we can try to get it directly to us and get that processed as soon as possible. Another thing that our department handles is the bookstore reserves. Bookstore reserves are something that you have an option to opt into. That is just if you have enough financial aid to fully cover all of your charges and you want the opportunity to purchase your books from the bookstore before we start processing refunds, that is what the bookstore reserve is for. I want to emphasize that it is not free money. It is a charge that we put on your account. So it is a charge to be covered by your financial aid. If you don't have enough financial aid to cover that $700 charge, you're not going to be eligible for it. So please remember that it is an option if you are receiving enough financial aid to cover 100% plus that additional charge to go and get your books before we process refunds. You also have the option to, choose a third party place to purchase your books from, so you can use your refund to do that. You just would have to wait until we process refunds. So it's completely up to the student on which route you want to take. That leads into refunds. So if you are receiving enough financial aid to fully cover all of your tuition, that means your tuition, your housing, your meal plan, everything, your account balance, your charges are covered and you show a negative, we do process refunds in our department. But please remember that all students' accounts are different. So not everybody is eligible for a refund. So keep up with your account information through your MyTSU web and monitor that. So if you see that you feel like you should be receiving a refund, please make sure that you have qualified for all the aid that you think that you should qualify for before coming and looking for a refund. Please make sure that everything is on your account and your account is reflecting the correct amount that you expect it to be reflecting. If you have questions, we can always review your account with you and we can answer those questions and give you a breakdown and help you get a better understanding if there's something that you're confused about.
Ms. Lim, I'm going to go into the cost next.
Okay, so cost of attendance. As Dr. Armstrong mentioned earlier, it can get quite expensive. If you were an in-state student, it is that per semester, it is that estimated $10,387. But remember, books are optional. So you could be spending $700, you could be spending more than that, you could be spending less than that. It all depends on your courses that you're taking and the requirements of your professor, as well as meal plan and housing. If you are not staying on campus, that line item could vary. So if you are staying with a friend of the family, you might not have that extra expense. But if you are staying on campus, you will need to calculate that into your cost. And then out of state is a little bit more. It's about $16,000 per semester. So please be prepared when you're completing your FAFSA to take these amounts into consideration. A lot of out-of-state students don't realize that the Parent Plus loan, if you are not paying completely out of pocket, is one of those things that you definitely need to consider because it gets expensive. And your regular loans are not going to cover $16,000.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Lim. We probably will have questions now that you've broken the news of what it costs. We probably will have questions about options for paying. And if a student doesn't pay with financial aid 100%, what options do they have available?
So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I don't know, did you have a slide with the payment site or we not have that?
No, I don't have that slide.
Okay. So when you go through your MyTSU web and you click on the billing, well, you click on student accounting, then you click on billing and payment. When you get into that site, you have the option to pay 100% if you want, or you have the option to set up an installment plan. Installment plans for every semester are going to require a 25% first installment payment. And then it's going to break down the remaining payments into 3 additional installments of 25%. At this current time, the way the installment plan is set up is it's going to include your tuition costs and your housing if you have been billed for housing. So all of that is going to be included together. If you are receiving financial aid, once financial aid is awarded and financial aid starts running their process, you will begin to see that probably that for the fall, sometime in August, a couple weeks before school starts, you'll start seeing that estimated aid amount, and that will reduce what your balance out of pocket is going to be, and you can set up an installment plan from that amount. But you will be able to see all of that online. And again, we will be communicating with you from our office. And I know it gets a little confusing sometimes, but please make sure you check your TSU email address, because that is how we communicate with you. And we will send out communication, just giving you a heads up. Hey, this is your bill. Hey, we see that you've accepted X amount. Please make sure that you're checking the academic calendar for important dates, and, make sure you have an installment plan set up. One more thing that I do want to mention, talking about important dates, please make sure that you pay attention to the withdrawal and drop dates. We have a lot of students that start the semester, don't realize, hey, I don't need to take this class, or I want to switch classes, or, so on and so forth. Please make sure you look at those dates on the calendar, because based on when you drop, which means that you're staying enrolled and you're just dropping one class, it could affect how much your cost is going to be. You could still be responsible for those charges if you don't drop in enough time. Same with withdrawal. If you decide that you are not going to attend, the longer you stay enrolled in those classes, the more you're going to be responsible for that bill. So again, we'll be sending out those types of communications. Make sure you check your TSU email address, but you can always see those dates on the academic calendar.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Lemmy. And now we're going to talk about living on campus, residential life and housing. And I know I have several colleagues on from residential life and housing, so I'm going to pause now, and I have a few slides queued up for the team to share information about living on campus here at TSU.
Hello, everyone. My name is Quincy Swallow. I am one of the liaison coordinators here with TSU Residential Life and Housing. I'm sorry. Let me get started. Some of the things that we have going on in housing. Housing is available for all our freshmen. For freshman housing, freshmen are required to stay on housing as long as campus housing is available. So let's start with that. For the 25-26 school year, the housing application will open up on April 15th. You can always go to our Residential Life and Housing webpage, and you can find it. If you look over to the left of this slide, you see where it says housing application. You can always click on there and go and apply for housing. Just a few quick steps. How the application process goes is you would go ahead and apply for housing. After you apply for housing, then you would go in and make a $200 administrative fee or application fee. So that would happen normally within 24 to 48 hours that you would see it, excluding the weekends. Once the administrative fee is paid, then next you would go into like a review part of basically your application, and we would start with the process of getting you up and running for housing for the school year. At that time, we would look at the location, look into your we will look into your talking too fast, so let me slow down for half a second. But we will look into your we will look at things such as financial aid and other stuff to see what's available or how that looks for you, because I know most of you all want to try to pay for it with financial aid. So if you do pay for financial aid, some of the things that we look at, we do plan that you're going to stay here for the whole entire school year. So while when we're looking at financial aid, we're looking at least $21,000 for freshmen living on campus of accepted award or for the whole school year. So that should take you from the beginning, which includes tuition, fees, and housing and meal plan. If you're out of state, we're looking at about an average of $35,000 to cover you for the whole school year in order to say that you're able to pay for housing in full and approve you. If not, we do ask that you start with making installment payments in order to secure housing. The students on campus are required to have a meal plan. Freshman has two meal plan options, which is a meal plan 14 and a meal plan 19. And you'll have those options to select which meal plan that you would like to have at that point in time. I think for me, just a general overview of housing and how that looks, that's about it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Quincy. I know we have a slide queued up for the opening date for the upcoming fall semester, as you said, April 15th. And then here is the information that we normally share with students about how to apply. It's open now for summer. So if students are planning to come to summer school, they can apply now for summer school. But for our students coming for the fall semester, that will start April 15th. But typically they would go to that website that we just showed them, and they would follow these steps here to log in. But students and parents, remember, you must submit your meningitis vaccination record before you can apply for housing. You may think that, oh, they're not going to know. That's two different offices. Our system is synced up that if you don't have your meningitis vaccination in the system and you must have that to live on campus. That is not an under 22 age issue. You must have that meningitis vaccination to live on campus. So no matter what your age is, you must submit that prior to applying for housing. So here we are, April 21st. You still have plenty of time to turn in your meningitis vaccination, which is why we're hosting these free vaccination dates over the next 4 weeks, because when housing opens up on April 15th, it's going to fill up quickly. We're just going to be very honest with you. We're going to fill up quickly, and we don't want you saying that, you didn't know. This is why we're hosting this webinar in March and not in April and May, because we want to give you all a chance to know what the requirements are going to be before those applications open up. Mr. Swallow, anything else you want to add about housing?
No, not at this time.
Okay, all right. So students, if you're not certain what the options look like, you can go to their website, take a virtual tour of all the properties. Housing will let you know which properties will be available for our freshmen and for transfers. But remember, all freshmen are expected to live on campus unless you live close to the campus or housing fills up. So keep that in mind over the next couple of weeks, okay? And we look forward to having you all live on campus. And then once housing will be doing a series of seminars and webinars about the do's and don'ts, what to bring, not to bring, how do they choose their roommates and stuff like that for students. So they'll tell you more about that over the next couple of weeks. New student orientation dates are out. We will soon begin to send that information out to all of our new students. We have one date for our summer students. That'll be May 13th. That'll be a virtual session. Then we also have a May 19th transfer virtual session. And then we're hosting 10 in-person orientation dates that start June 5th all the way through the end of July, with two of those dates being on Saturdays. June 28th and July 26th will be our 2 Saturday dates. So parents and students, take these dates and begin to plan. These are going to be half-day sessions on campus for the June and July sessions where you can come to campus. You may already have a class scheduled by then. You may already have housing taken care of by then. You're just coming to meet with the university representatives to kind of maybe do a tour or, finalize your schedule. But you must turn in your meningitis vaccination record, and you must submit your TSI scores before you can come to orientation. Those are requirements to come to orientation, and we do mandate that all new students attend one of our upcoming orientation dates. When we send this information out to you, you're going to receive an email that allows you to pick the date that best meets your travel plans and your travel needs. So you're going to see an email that looks very similar to this one, where you can see the dates that are available. I can tell you those Saturday dates fill up really quickly. So if you need a Saturday date, you want to make sure that you respond that communication as timely as possible to pick one of those dates. Remember, they're going to be half-day sessions. You get here about 8:30 and you should be done between 12 and 1 o'clock. You're going to be required to purchase meal options for you and your guests. Each student will pay a certain fee to come to orientation, and then parents will have the option of paying an additional fee for a swag bag and a lunch meal type of option. So that information will be sent out very soon to all of our newly admitted students. And we have a lot in store for you. There's so much. You've heard from several of these offices already, but one office you're going to hear from tonight is our Office of Accessibility Services, formerly known as our Office of Disability Services. And I know that Ms. Benavides is patiently waiting to share with all of our Tigers and their parents about the services her office provides.
Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. New Tigers, welcome to Texas Southern University. We're excited that you have joined us this evening. So I am Sharon Benavides, the Director of Student Accessibility Services. The office acronym is SASO, S-A-S-O. SASO offers academic accommodations to students with diagnosed disabilities. The disability types that we work with is ADHD, learning, medical, mental health, physical, audio, and visual. Services are confidential. Disability information is not included in students' TSU educational records. Students that are interested in applying for services, you must self-identify by contacting the office, either phone, in person, or via email to start the eligibility process. There are times that students who receive, let's say, accommodations in the high school environment, perhaps your counselor has shared that the services will automatically be put in place. Please be informed that that is not the case. In this environment, you must seek out the services by reaching out to the office to start that process. You will complete an application, submit disability-specific documentation, complete an intake interview, and then that information is used to determine what the accommodation plan will be to support your disability type and academic needs. We encourage students to start this process early. Sometimes students say, you know what, I can do this without the services. I want to do this without the services, and perhaps our grades are not where they should be. So we encourage students to seek out the service early and have them in place if you need them. We're here to advocate and support you because we want you to be successful. You can contact the office if you have any questions. And I look forward to meeting you. Please take a picture of the slide that's on the screen because it has our telephone number and email address. And for those that may have some visual impairments, the office number is 713-313-4210, or email is disabilityservices@tsu.edu. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you and working with you. Thank you, Dr. Armstrong.
Thank you, Ms. Benavidez. And parents and students, you'll get a chance to meet with Ms. Benavidez during orientation, and you can learn more about her services. We want you to take advantage as soon as possible of her amazing services because your success is our priority, but we want to make sure that you start off the right way with having all the information available to you. And I know we're almost out of time for our webinar tonight. So Ms. Valentine, I'm going to just share with them the information that your office provides, but I do have Ms. Valentine on with the Office of Student Records. And Ms. Lemmy talked earlier about dropping and adding courses and being aware of the academic calendar and the academic catalog. That is very important because we are governed as a state university by both federal and state regulations, and many of those regulations are tied to your degree plan and the academic calendar. So parents, that information is all on our website under our Office of Student Records. And you can see all that information and begin to look at those dates for the various timelines that will impact you. But the most important one right now that Ms. Valentine and her team are going to be working with would be the FERPA form, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And Ms. Valentine, can you share with our students and parents the process for them to complete the new FERPA form? You're on mute right now.
Can you hear me? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The new FERPA form is listed on the website. Welcome to Texas Southern University. I apologize. The new FERPA form is listed on the website, and it is very accessible. And please, parents, if you call and we do not have that form on file, we cannot give any information out in regards to your students.
So under the Office of Student Records, you will have access. We have a new process for using the FERPA through our campus ESP partnership. So parents and students, now's a good time to begin that process because as Ms. Valentine is saying, all of our students' records are confidential. They're protected under FERPA federal guidelines unless we receive written permission from the student to share the information. Parents, we know that you're going to need information. Financial aid, academics, but we're going to have to follow the federal guideline under FERPA. So thank you, Ms. Valentine, for sharing that information and being available to help our parents. We may have some questions in the Q&A section, but parents, all of this good information is under the Office of Student Records at our website. Now, last but not least, the steps to enroll. We've covered everything on here in detail. Confirming to attend TSU. If you've not yet told us you're coming to TSU, as soon as you know you're a Tiger, let us know so that we can put you in the category of confirmed to attend. There will be some things we share with you that only our confirmed to attend students may get. So you want to let us know that you are planning to attend TSU. Submit your meningitis vaccination record, take your TSI or submit your TSI exams. Very soon you can sign up for orientation, review your financial aid information, apply for housing starting April 15th, and complete registration over the next couple of weeks. Classes for summer begin May 27th. Classes for the fall semester begin on August 18th. You can contact us by email at admissions@tsu.edu. Even if you're not certain that this is the office that needs your question answered, let us be your liaison between the various offices on campus. We'd love to connect you with the offices that you need help with. Our website is there. You can follow us on all social media platforms as well. And now I'm going to pause and thank you for coming tonight to show how TSU proud we are of you to be our new Tigers and for hanging out with us tonight for this hour-long webinar. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can peek into the Q&A section and see if there's any questions. And I'm going to take a few of them randomly. So hopefully my colleagues have been kind of following along with me, but I'll try to answer as many as I can while we have some time. Is there a fee to register? No, there's not a fee to register for classes. You will pay your tuition and fees once you do register, but there is a fee for orientation, and we will send that information out to you. When does athletes move in if classes start on the 27th? Your coach will let you know. Your athletic advisors will let you know when to move in. I see Mr. Swallow is responding as well, but student athletes, your coaches and athletic department will let you know about move-in dates and things like that. Do we register for classes at orientation? You can, but you may already be registered for classes by the time you come to orientation. You don't have to wait until orientation to register for classes. Dr. Hobson and her team will begin to connect with you once we open up registration and we receive your meningitis vaccination and your TSI scores. My daughter's second shot is not due until June. We will be able to apply for housing with records of the first shot. Once the Student Health Center clears you, then you will be able to apply. I don't know the details of which shot is first or second, Ms. Davis-Marsal, but go ahead. You want to take that one for me?
Yeah, so if someone told you you needed 2 shots, that's actually the B series. We recommend that you go ahead and complete that, but the one that we need is a single dose vaccination. It covers strands A, C, W, and Y. The 2 shots is the B series. We recommend that, but we need the single shot vaccination that covers strands A, C, W, and Y. Don't forget, Dr. Armstrong gave you some dates where you can come get that for free if you're uninsured. If you're insured, you can get it anywhere.
Thank you, Ms. Davis-Marsal.
You're welcome.
What if housing is not available due to just filling up? Housing is first come, first serve. So if you need to live on campus, April 15th is your new best date, because by April 17th or 20th, we don't guarantee housing once we fill up. So it's very important that you put a plan together, put a reminder on your phone for April 14th at 7 p.m. That way it can be fresh on your mind on April 15th that you begin to apply for housing. But as we've been saying all night, you must submit your meningitis vaccination record before you can apply for housing. So we're giving you almost a little bit of a month jump start. Take advantage of it. You might need that time, okay? Let's see what I got here. So what are you saying is that freshmen are incapable of guaranteed success without housing? No, you can have success if you live off campus, but we find that students who live on campus have a stronger chance of being successful, but each student will determine their own success, whether you live on or off campus. We just know that living on campus is so much better for your first year because you have all these resources around you that you may not have access to at home. So try to live on campus if it's affordable. Why is no one answering my question? I'm sorry, I was saving it for the best one. It's official. I'm answering you now. How do we send the certificates from College Bridge to exempt from the TSI? The answer is easy. Email it to admissions@tsu.edu. We wanted to give you special attention. That's why we were ignoring you earlier. But now you have that dedicated information. All certificates for College Bridge can be emailed to admissions@tsu.edu. Will the Tiger Promise go off of GPA? Not initially. You must be admitted to the university as an in-state student to qualify for it initially, but you must meet the university's satisfactory academic progress to maintain eligibility for the Tiger Promise. So the answer is kind of yes. Once you get the promise, you got to have a certain GPA, which is a really strong GPA. Whatever you call a strong GPA above a 2.0 is what your 2.5 to maintain eligibility for the Tiger Promise. How much is orientation? We're finalizing those costs right now, and once we know, we're going to send that out to you. Probably between $35 and $50 per student to come to orientation. You'll get a swag bag, you'll get a lunch ticket, so you'll have some fun with that. I'm asking what options are available if the student is unable to complete the meningitis immunization until June. Well, until we can clear you, you won't be able to complete housing and you won't be able to register for classes. So you must put a plan together between now and early May to complete those because they are state requirements for both of those. We don't have flexibility on those right now. So it's very important that you put a plan together to get those two things taken care of, meningitis vaccination and the TSI. Do you all take the super score or the last ACT when trying to be exempt from TSI? Jay, do we take your highest ACT? We don't super score, and we don't just take your last one. We take your highest one for ACT consideration, but we don't super score your ACTs. And for those who don't know what super score mean, you may take 3 different ACTs, and super score means you pick the highest on each of those exams. So you may, on one exam, you may have a 25 on math. On another exam, your highest score in reading may be 26. Super score means the school takes each of those highest scores. We don't do that at TSU. We will look at just each exam date by itself, but the highest score that you received is what we're going to look at for TSI compliance. What's the link for the Tiger Promise? Go to tsu.edu and you can just Google search Tiger Promise and it'll come up there, okay? I don't see the scholarship link on the website. It's easy. It's tsu.edu/scholarships with an S. Do you accept vaccine waivers? I'm not sure, Ms. Davis Marcel, if you already addressed that, but do you accept vaccine waivers? Can my child be a resident and qualify sophomore year for in-state? The answer to that is no. Only a new student coming in would be eligible for the Tiger Promise. You can't get it your second or third or fourth year. So you must get it your first year. So if your student needs the Tiger Promise, they may have to come as a transfer student if they're in-state, but they have to be an in-state student initially to qualify. You can't become a resident the third or second year and qualify. Can you qualify for internal scholarships with GPA only? No, we look at GPA and class rank or GPA and SAT scores. Those breakdowns are on our website for scholarships. Who do we contact if we're not received an acceptance letter? Easy admissions at tsu.edu. They're the office that sends out acceptance letters. Maybe we have a bad email on file for you, or we need to resend an email to you. So please check to see if we need to resend that to you. Check with the admissions office. TSU accepts more freshmen than housing available. How long after applying is the decision made? Once we get your transcript, we're going to make a decision, but you must submit your transcript and your application fee or your approved fee waiver, and then we will make a decision on your admissibility to the university. Every admitted student will have the same start date of April 15th, so you got plenty of time to still be admitted. But we do have more students who attend TSU who live off campus than live on campus, and we do have some properties around campus that you'll have access to as well. Is Tiger Promise funds decreased from 100% tuition and fees covered if you get a merit-based scholarship? It could be. They will look at all of your internal financial resources to give you that promise. That might include your scholarship, but it might not include your scholarship. It'll depend on your other financial aid offerings. So do your FAFSA as soon as possible to get the best package available to you. A few more questions. Are you allowed to change your major at any time? Yes and no. You can always change your major, but not at any time, only right before the semester begins. And you want to pick your major and kind of stick to it as best as possible, because the longer you're changing your major, the more classes you may have to take, and that may delay your degree completion by years. Remember, you can always get a bachelor's degree later or a master's degree and a PhD. You don't have to spend 5 and 6 years deciding, are you going to be a doctor or a lawyer? Be a doctor first, be a lawyer later. but do it in a timely manner. That way you're not spending a whole bunch of money that your moms and dads could be using on other resources or students. So do some soul searching. Are you that lawyer? Then go to law, go all the way. But if you're not certain, pick a more liberal type of degree plan or maybe general studies until you're certain. We don't want you wasting your money and time if you're not certain. When you're certain, go all in and do your very best. Can someone let me know on VA funds being used to pay for tuition if my parent is 100% disabled from the service? I know Ms. Weatherly and her team will work with all of our VA students, dependents, and our VA members and our active military members. And we thank you for your service to our nation. So you'll have access to that information through the Office of Student Financial Success. Does FAFSA cover the housing administrative fee? No, it does not. You need to pay that out of pocket. So it doesn't cover housing, the housing application fee. That's how you're going to get your leasing agreement set up. So you want to start saving those $200 as soon as possible because that is not covered under financial aid. Can a freshman have a vehicle? Yes, but we don't want you to. Leave that car at home. We can see it your sophomore year. It'll mean a whole lot more to us when you're a sophomore than a first-time freshman. But the answer is yes, you can have a car on campus. But parents, are you hearing me? Is this microphone on? Leave that car at home. They do not need it here at TSU. How do I register for orientation if all the spots stays full? Once they're full, you won't be able to see that date available. So once we start opening up orientation, you have to apply as soon as possible because a full date means a full opportunity. My last question, how long do I have to live in Texas to be considered in-state? Until you've lived and worked in Texas for a year. That's how long it'll take for you to be an in-state student. Texas says you must live and work in Texas for a year, 1 calendar year, before you can pay in-state tuition. It is not just living in Texas. It is not just working in Texas. You must live and work in Texas for a year. And then Ebony, I'm sorry, you're the last one on my list. It says, can someone please answer my question? I think Mr. Brown may be answering it right now because I don't know what your question, I didn't go far up enough to see what your question was. Can merit scholarship, okay, I think Mr. Brown's got you covered on that one. Are you allowed to try out for sports like track and basketball if you're not on the team? This is a SWAC championship winning university. I don't know how easy it might be, but I don't want to cheat you out your skills. If you've got what it takes to win us championships, try out. Go to our website, tsusports.com, and shoot your shot, all pun intended. Let's see what you got to see if we can be on our SWAC championship for all 14 of our sports, not just some of our big sports. Thank you, all of you, so much. I know you have more questions. We have all the time on admissions@tsu.edu. We are excited to have you here. I hope you can hear it in our voices. We can't wait to see you on campus with your parents and your siblings and your family because we know this is a family environment, a family opportunity. But we are thankful that you've chosen the Texas Southern University as your educational opportunity, and we will work real hard to make sure that you're successful in the 2 to 4 years that you're here. So everyone have a safe evening. We're going to put this webinar on our website. So those of you who may be watching it that's not live, we're excited to have you at TSU as well. And remember, you can email us at admissions@tsu.edu for all questions you have about attending TSU. Have a great night, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you here at TSU very soon. Good night and go Tigers.